morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm András Demeter, advisor to the director responsible for natural capital in the Directorate General for the Environment of the European Commission. Those of you who were present at previous meetings will remember that Pia Bucella, the former director, took personal interest in this work, and she herself chaired many of the previous meetings. She has retired, and there is no successor yet, and the acting director, Stefan Leiner, has been unable to join us, so it is my privileged duty to co-chair this meeting today, which I am doing with great pleasure. And in addition to the good words about the local hosts and organizations, as a member of those of us who had the opportunity to go out to the field and see a roundup of reindeer yesterday, it was a huge experience, and I would like to thank Anna and her colleagues and all the reindeer herders who received us for showing us your incredible work. I have been up close to animals much of my life, being a zoologist, but I've never been so close to so many animals like these reindeer herders being rounded up. So I would like to give you a very brief introduction about the platform. For those of you who have been part of the journey, I apologize, you have seen it before, but for those of you for whom it's new, it might be interesting. First of all, just a few words why several years ago we thought it would be useful to have such a dialogue. That's because we consider that large carnivores are an integral part of the European landscapes, and these European landscapes have multifunctional purposes, and there are lots of competing interests, lots of human activities ongoing. And in order to ensure favorable conservation status for the large carnivores, coexistence with people and acceptance by local communities must be part of the equation. It's not only ecological carrying capacity, it's also social carrying capacity that we are talking about. And also, many years ago, in 2004, there was an agreement between bird conservation organizations and the hunters organizations to work together on solving issues around bird hunting. So there was a precedent, and some of us thought that it might be good to try to have something similar on large carnivores, although we have discovered that it is in many ways more difficult because there are more partners and some more politically difficult species as well. So the platform actually was launched last year in June, on the 10th of June, under the patronage of Commissioner Janez Potočnik, who himself, coming from Slovenia, was very much interested in large carnivores. The aim of the platform is to provide a constructive dialogue to find solutions. Concerning 4 species of large carnivores, we have to neglect one species, the Iberian lynx, because not only it's of its extremely endangered status, but the conflict issues are not really the same as for the other species. This forum is not a discussion forum about amending the Habitats Directive. There is an ongoing exercise called the fitness check of the EU legislation. That is where those discussions are ongoing. But all the discussions in this platform are relevant for the fitness check. And an agreement was drafted, which was the entry ticket to the platform. And the main purpose is to collect the knowledge base and to exchange experiences among different stakeholders. And we were also hoping for some joint projects. We'll see whether that would happen. It took us a long time. Actually, we had a series of 7 smaller meetings and 2 bigger workshops in Brussels to crystallize the ideas. And on these slides, I think 4 or 5 people who are sitting in the room may be seen on those pictures. They were part of the work towards the platform. And then at a big event in the Committee of the Regions, which is one of the institutions of the EU, there was a ceremony when the heads of 8 stakeholder organizations signed the agreement with the presence of Commissioner Potočnik and a member of the Committee of the Regions who comes from France, where the wolf is present. And her name happens to be Annabelle Jäger. And this is the document which decorates the wall of the director's office, which is at the moment empty actually in Brussels. And the key principles on which the agreement was based, first, to work within the existing legal framework to ensure that we have the necessary knowledge base about large carnivores, to recognize socio-economic and cultural considerations and concerns, to find solutions to conflicts through a constructive dialogue, and the emphasis is on constructiveness, and to engage in transboundary cooperation. And the members also made some commitments. They committed themselves to share their experiences. They committed themselves to engage in a dialogue for consensus seeking and accepting that at times solutions may be difficult to accept and compromise is needed. They expressed willingness to transfer knowledge so that they can be tested elsewhere, to see if it works elsewhere. They also said that they would listen to each other and they would discuss each other's experience. They said they would be open to accept examples of good practices. And finally, they also said that they would commit resources, which we know has become quite difficult for some of them. Therefore, we really appreciate the efforts of members like the Finnish Reindeers Association, who are representing this particular husbandry, which does not have an EU representation. Thank you for putting in all the resources for this meeting. And the platform at the beginning was limited to 8 members, but in principle, expansion is possible in the future with the agreement of the members. And they represent the major stakeholders like hunters, farmers, conservationists. And the Commission has pledged to provide support, and I'd like to thank our consultants, Adelphi, with the subcontractors Callisto, who have been helping our work and who are also helping to organize this workshop. And we also ask the member states to follow the developments and, if possible, to help the work of the platform. So I am grateful to those people here in the room who represent governments or government agencies of Finland and Sweden. Thank you for coming. And also, I'd like to convey the greetings from Mr. Trio de la Sky, but had yet already done that. And these are the founding members. You can read on the screen. I don't want to list them. I would like to only mention one thing. To our greatest regret, one of the founding members, one of the most important founding members, whose presence we really were hoping for, the European Farmers and European Agri-Cooperatives, Copa-Cogeca, suddenly decided in February this year to withdraw from the platform, even before the platform managed to start to work in earnest. It was a huge disappointment for us, and I'd like to thank the other members of the platform for the statement they have made, in which they have expressed their regret, and they have called on Copa-Cogeca to reconsider. And the door is open for them to reconsider and join us again. And finally, just a few words about the workshop we had in Bulgaria. which actually was a side event of one of the members, CIC, the International Council of Game and Wildlife Conservation, had the General Assembly in Bulgaria and offered to host a workshop, which was very successful, we believe. Just a few pictures. We had over 120 participants from 20 countries. And we focused on two regions. At that time, it was the Balkans and the Carpathians. And we discussed three topics. The first two of them, of course, are common to many meetings: transboundary cooperation and on conflict resolution. But that workshop also looked at the document produced earlier this year, which has drawn up some recommendations for key actions on specific large carnivore populations. And there was an interactive exercise when participants expressed their opinion about the urgency and priority of those actions. In the beginning, we thought something similar for this workshop, but then it turned out that in this context, this exercise would not have been so useful, so that's why we have a different agenda. And then we had the second meeting, annual meeting of the workshop in June, when a communication plan was adopted, and the decision was taken to focus more attention on the socio-economic issues. So that's why one of the main focuses of this workshop is also to start serious work on the socio-economic aspects. And that was the first time that the invitation from the Reindeer Herders Association was expressed to come to a workshop. And here we are, and I'm very glad that we are here. And there are brochures about the workshop that you can pick up outside. We managed to have them translated in all the official EU languages where large carnivores occur. So we don't have them in Maltese and neither in Gaelic, but in all the other European languages we have the brochure. And the main tool of the workshop is a website where we are collecting information and where we are disseminating information. So the results of the workshop will also be put on the website, and I invite you to go into it and study its content. And thank you very much for your information, and I wish you a successful workshop. I wish myself a successful workshop because I want to be part of this, and I'm sure you are going to do a great job. Thank you very much for your attention.